I've got 5 words for you. Terence Bud Crawford is him. He is him. He the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. He might have stole my man's Errol Spence nickname. I mean, what I witnessed was magical, was just pure greatness of the highest order. It was a boxing clinic. I mean, wow. Wow, 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 wow. What he did was out of this world. Spence, on the other hand, that's his LeBron James Dallas moment where he just he wet the bed. He didn't show up at all. I don't know why. Obviously, there's a lot of inquest into finding out what potential reasons were. I mean, I'm gonna give credit where it's due. I'm gonna make no excuses. Everyone knows that Errol Spence is my favorite fighter. I'm gonna make no excuses. Terence Bud Crawford was just better. He was just on another level. He was just on another plane. Errol Spence is very good. Borderline great. Bud Crawford is an all-timer and his levels. And it's crazy. I mean, yeah, on the day of performances, polar opposites, Bud was at his absolute best, the best I've ever seen him, especially at the world level. Spence was at his absolute worst. I mean, were the lights too bright for him? I don't know, but it was crazy. Obviously, there was knockdowns in the second, or one knockdown in the second, early. First 2 rounds and a couple in the 7th, and he stopped him in the 9th. But overall, like I said, this is one of the best ever performances I've ever seen in any sport. I mean, boy, you have to go a long, long way to see certain matches that are definitely in boxing, especially at that level, Like, obviously, when you try to compare it to football, basketball, this will be like the NBA finals. This will be, Champions Leagues, World Cup finals type of level. This is where it's at. And, what he did, he puts him in the pantheon of greats, performance-wise, any sport, definitely in my lifetime, the last 50, 40 years. Let me know in the comments if you can find something that's comparable, something that may be even better. Any sport, obviously, we mainly cover basketball, football, and boxing for here in TMG. But yeah, let me get more into the boy Crawford, TBC Promotions. He's done well, got himself a good promotional company. Hopefully he can grow and continue to build that as he deserves all the plaudits. He's now 40-0, 31 KOs. And one of the main takeaways, he cuts no corners. In training, in the ring, out the ring, preparation, takes care of his body. And when the lights shone brightest, it bare fruit. The fruit of his labors was there for everybody to see. We won the fight. He was composed. He was measured. He had a clear game plan. He stuck to it. He was quick on every turn. Too sharp, too quick, too decisive, too concise. And it was a boxing clinic. I mean, he was, like I said, punching in between shots. Obviously, he had a slightly longer reach, 74 inches to Errol Spence 72. Used all these physical gifts and advantages, quicker footwork, quicker punches. He was quicker, body feints, head feints, all across from neck down to neck up. He was quicker, stronger in the clinches. I've heard stories that he deadlifts 450 pounds, like I said before in the previous video, I believe. That is a magnificent display of strength right there. Crazy. And he currently, like he said, he switched his jab from a flick jab more to a power jab, and it paid dividend because when they were both jabbing, because Errol Spence that's his strongest weapon, he took it away. Lovely head movements, countering his jabs. He came out southpaw, leading left hand. So every time Errol Spence shoot the right jab, if it's sloppy, if his arms are not tightly brought back to protect his head, boom, countered there, the left, ready and waiting. He cocked it up and was there ready to fire at any moment. Like I said, yeah, stronger than clinches. He shoved Errol Spence early in the fight across the ring, and Errol Spence is supposed to be this bigger, stronger man, and that wasn't the case. But yeah, one of Terrence's gifts, arguably his main gifts, is his timing. His timing is elite, but also his understanding of distance and range. He can get into spaces where you can't hit him, but he can hit you, which obviously helps benefit him with his long reach at his height. Like, for example, put into perspective, Mayweather was also very good at this, elite at this. Mayweather was 5'8", and he had a reach of 72. But Crawford, same height, extra 2 inches, man. It's crazy. But I mean, yeah, he took Errol Spence's strengths away from him. You know, most people like to deal with people's weaknesses. He took their strengths away in proper old school performance. And, you know, once he took away Errol Spence's jab, Errol Spence had nothing left really to offer, because that's the initiator of his offense. He took it away completely, and Errol Spence he looked like an average fighter. If I'm being honest, he did not look world level at all. He looked like a basic contender at best, not even a good contender. I mean, it was crazy. But Mo Bud obviously started boxing at the age of 7. And also as well, he got injured, I believe, when he was 13 with his, or early teenage years, with his right hand, because he was an orthodox fighter. And so what he did, he switched to southpaw, train his left hand, and that's why he's got 2, strong hands and can, fight out of either stance. And, it really helped him to have advantages over many fights today. So, he took the pain and turned it into champagne for sure. But, yeah, like I said, Bard started boxing at 7, Errol Spence at 15, 8-year gap. Like I always say, it shows, And also the lineage, he does have a lineage of boxing, not to the highest level, not like the Mayweathers per se, but what he does have, his grandfather boxed, I believe, at amateur level, and his dad boxed at amateur level, and obviously he's now the chosen one that's going to the highest level. When you have a lineage of guys, a family of fighters, boxing, wrestling, which, helped him in the clinches and stuff, it shows. It genuinely shows. Guys who pick up the sport kind of late. I believe Ali's probably the top elite fighter I can remember off the top of my head that picked up, and I'm talking about top 10, that picked up boxing maybe 15 plus. I think Canelo around that time, but he's not top 10 for me. Most other guys, 7, 8, 9, 10. And it shows. It really does show, for sure. But more on to Spence. He's now 28-1, 22 KOs. Still a great fighter, but he looked fragile. He did not look himself. Like I said, this was his LeBron James moment. I've never seen him look so bad at all. But then again, he's never lost. I mean, he's supposed to be fundamentally sound. He looked a fundamental wreck. No defense whatsoever. No head movement. When he went to punch, he went pulling his arms back, tight to his face. It was more like down low, open. You could feel a whole hand here, open. It was crazy. And yeah, the fundamentals were surprisingly lacking. And obviously, when Crawford took away his jab, he was constantly lunging. He was panicking, trying to find inroads to get closer. Obviously, with his short reach. Like I said, his whole offense was shut down. Like I said, he panicked. He was too eager, especially after the knockdown. He was taken to places he's never been before. And you got punished. And that, played into Crawford's hands, because Crawford is an elite counterpuncher with both hands, quick and sharp. Eyes are always watching you, analyzing your data, your information, downloading the information and uploading the beat. He didn't download a virus, he uploaded a serious beat. And all Errol Spence's weaknesses were exposed to the power of 10. Poor footwork, average. He was off balance a lot, which has happened a lot, especially since his car crash. Not to give him no excuses. Head movement never really been there. And he got punished. And the difference in speed was also very telling. Spence looked so slow. He looked so slow. I've never seen him look that slow. It's crazy. It's so crazy. Well, yeah, his face as well was in tatters. The way he was bleeding, the way color his face turned. I don't know if it's the plastic surgery to do, obviously, his car crash. I don't know, but it was crazy. Also, the doctor stepped in early in the fight to check him up in the ring. Within like round 5 or so. Embarrassing for him. He landed a couple good punches, but they had no effects. I mean, he landed good lefts in the 5th round at least. Flush. Also landed one early. That's what Bud Crawford said. And Crawford said that, he was thinking, is that it? Which makes me think there was something afoot a bit, because everyone else, the 2 fighters that fought them both, Carl Brook and Sean Porter, they both said Errol Spence hits harder. Obviously, styles make fights, and Crawford's different to, obviously, those guys, of course. But for Crawford to now turn around and say, was that it? I don't know what happened in his preparation of the fight on a day with the lack of that's trying too bright. Was he a weight thing? I don't know, but that's alarming. That's, to put it mildly. But yeah, Spence was just picked apart. It was a boxing clinic by Crawford. Undisputably pound for pound number one. Obviously, knew it's a close second. What he did to Fulton was great, fantastic. Took him apart, destroyed him essentially. Won basically every round per se. But Fulton and Errol Spence, there's levels. Errol Spence was a top 4 or 5 pound for pound fighter. And the last time I can recall, was supposed to be a 50-50 fight of two elite fighters, 2 pound for pounders, was like Roy Jones and James Toney. Roy Jones took him apart. Felix Trinidad and Bernard Hopkins. Bernard Hopkins took him apart. But this just felt worse and it was hard to watch, especially Errol Spence being my favourite fighter. But yeah, that's enough for me. Let me know your thoughts on how the fight went, your reactions, blah, 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 all that sort of stuff. And let us know in the comments. Make sure you follow us on all socials. That'll be the Instagram and the Twitter, which will be in the bio of this video, the description of this video. Mello, it's your boy Mello TMG, and I'm out this one.